What's up, everybody? My name is Viola. I am the host of the Cerebro system, and on this channel, we talk about my system, my others, aka alters, various different things that happen with my system, other mental health disorders that have impacted me and can affect other people, and DID stuff. Of course, we also do vlogs on this channel, but that's not really the focus of today's video. Anyway, today's video is about, of course, another type of alter, but I'm going to be using the term other, just so there's no confusion. That's what I call my alters. It's a more pleasing term to me. So in case you're new here, that way there's no confusion. If you've been watching me for a while, welcome back. Good to see you. We're going to talk about demonic alters today. Of course, I've got my phone because there's a lot of info on this one, and honestly, my memory is terrible. I would not be able to remember any of this. Ironically, I'll probably remember all the info I learned, I just won't be able to remember exactly what this says. Alright. Demonic others are not actually supernatural beings. They are just in the mind. The person with these kinds of alters or others are not possessed. That is a very important distinction because improper treatment can be very lethal to a person with this condition. That is very useful information to have. They come about by the host blaming the abuse on a supernatural being or the abuser using it as a reason to hurt the child. These types of alters are usually the form of a child who was tricked into believing they were evil. These alters usually try to keep the victim loyal to their abusers, blaming instead the victim. That is not always the case, and sometimes they can be helped with therapy. Alright. So, I'm talking about this one because I have two of these. One of them is effective, being Bastiel, who we'll talk about in a future video, and Wallace, one of my protectors. Though Wallace is only half demon. So, let's go over this a little bit, piece by piece. Not actual supernatural beings. That is very important. There's a lot of religious people who look at DID and go like, and call you possessed or something. Especially if you have a demonic alter, they're gonna try to, I don't know, do an exorcism or something. And that feeds this next part. The person with these kinds of alters are not possessed. There you go. If you have a demon alter and you're religious, you're not possessed, you're fine. You just have a mental disorder, not an issue, a mental disorder. I'm trying to avoid the word issue, even though that's what I call my stuff sometimes. I gotta stop doing that. And it is a very important distinction. And it says improper treatment can be lethal to a person with this condition. Honestly, that is true. Improper treatment usually means they're going to try everything to get that out of you. You know, and it can be crazy stuff like electroshock therapy, as far as someone told me. Some people do that. Exorcisms, various crazy things to get a demon out of you. Never put anything past a religious person who thinks that their child or friend is possessed. Okay, they come about by the host blaming the abuse on a supernatural being or the abuser using it as a reason to hurt the child. I'm not certain if I've dealt with this one. I have a lot of, like, repressed memories, a lot of fuzzy memories. I don't remember too much. Okay, this one actually stuck out to me, though. These types of alters are usually the form of the child who is tricked into believing they are evil. Honestly, that in and of itself is very interesting. The form of the child who is tricked into believing they're evil. See, that would make sense for Bastiel. Or not Bastiel. That would make sense for Wallace, actually, is what I meant to say. Bastiel being effective and a former persecutor. I think he has a little bit of a different sort of creation, different sort of birth, I should say. Wallace, though, makes a lot more sense in this way. Because when I was growing up, I was, considered evil by a lot of people. I was considered a problem. And honestly, I could see why he looks the way he does, he acts the way he does. He's very straightforward, he's very blunt, very aggressive. But he is a protector. He kind of has to be that way. I definitely like that they pointed out that alters trying to keep the victim loyal to the abusers and blaming the victim is not always the case. Like with me, they have never tried to do that, I don't think. And you gotta keep in mind that every system is different. So obviously, mine's a little bit more easy to explain in that regard. But honestly, there's not a whole lot left for me to say about this one. If you have a demonic altar in your system, don't freak out. They're there to help you. They're not trying to possess you. They're not evil. There's no such thing as an evil altar. There's only misunderstood altars or ones who have been shunned by the host. I learned this the hard way. I guess technically Hans would be considered a demon as well. Though he doesn't really look like it, he definitely has the eyes of it, and I mistreated him very badly. And that's kind of why he became a persecutor, I believe. But honestly, I could be 100% wrong about that. Let me look that up really quickly. Does he have info on persecutors? Yeah. Alright. I'll have to look more into that one later with a different video, because honestly I still have a lot to learn. But this does kind of put in perspective who Wallace is, a little bit of who Hans is, and a little bit of who Bastiel is. These guys are technically demons. They generally, came about from very messed up ways. And I believe that... Actually, now I think about it, didn't I say Matilda was a demon as well? Man, I'm really losing my mind here. That's how I say that I'm kind of blanking on things. I'm sorry if that's not a good way to put it. But I'm blanking on what's what these days because honestly, I'm not getting enough sleep at night. I'm going to point that out. Anyway, I think that does explain quite a lot. And honestly, if I'm wrong about this, I'm wrong, I guess. So, I'm learning. It's a whole experience. I'm sure one of them will set me straight if I got something wrong in this video. Probably going to end up being Matilda, because she is very outspoken. Anyway, I hope this was at least a little bit informational to you guys. It's not a lot of info, but honestly, it's the info that I could find in my short search. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you stopping by. I always do. If you like what I do here, like, comment, subscribe, all that good kind of stuff. It helps me out a lot, especially with this algorithm. The way it is a must. Remember, you're beautiful, you're valid, you're important. That is very, very, very important to me and everybody up here. So until the next video that I make, goodbye.